Welcome back to Columbus. We take a look at last year's Women's U.S. Open. Kelly Kulick in Reno outside, Randy.
Yeah, the lanes got a little tough, and Kelly went to plastic and just tried to keep the ball on line, and she did a tremendous job of that.
Missy Parkin giving it her best in difficult conditions.
It was a close match, but Kelly Kulick did what she had to do and came away with another Women's U.S. Open title.
She'll be bowling to defend her title in just a moment. There is Kelly Kulick on the approach. She'll be taking on Liz Johnson once again for this title. The WNBA All-Star Game returns to ABC today, where Candace Parker and top stars from across the league will light up the scoreboard live from Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut. The Boost Mobile WNBA All-Star Game today at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on ABC. For today's Geico Championship recap, we're going to take a look at an event conducted earlier this week in conjunction with bowling's 2013 U.S. Open. For the second consecutive year, the BPAA contested bowling Senior Women's U.S. Open presented by Storm. The event took place at Sequoia Pro Bowl here in Columbus. In match one, number 3 seed Tish Johnson left a solid 9-pin in the 10th frame to give the 4th seed Christy Witcher a chance. Needing a double in the 10th to win, Witcher got only 8, and Johnson prevailed 178 to 147. Match 2 was a different story, as Johnson was unable to keep the momentum going. Strikes in the 8th and 9th by number 2 seed Paula Vidad sealed her 238-177 win and sent her on to the final match. The title match was a close one. Tournament leader Lucy Sandelin strung together 4 consecutive strikes in frames 5 through 8 to take a 1-pin lead into the 9th frame. But Vidad was up to the challenge, throwing a strike in the 9th and all 3 in the 10th to claim the title 234 to 215. The win was the first major championship of Vidad's career and earned her the spoils of victory, the champion's jacket, trophy, and first place check. So here's a look now at our current standings. Liz Johnson, the number 2 seed, moved past Danielle McEwen, 227-202, now taking on the defending champion and top seed Kelly Kulick in a rematch of 2010.
And I just got to congratulate Paula Vidad on that win. I used to bowl juniors with Paula when I was like 14 years old. So I've known Paula for a long time, and she's just a great lady, and great to see her come away with that win.
Top seed Kelly Kulick, 36 years old, 8 combined PWBA and PBA titles, 6 majors from Union, New Jersey. Opening up with a strike. This women's final presented by Ebonite as we take a look at this matchup. 36 years old, Kulick 39 for Johnson. And to see their titles, they have dominated the women's side, and a lot of majors between them. Of course, Kelly won the men's Tournament of Champions 2 years back. Johnson, can she answer? Yes, she can.
Take a look at this U.S. Open hole pattern, 38 feet in length, and the ratio is 1-to-1, which means it's completely flat all the way across the lane. Liz Johnson is playing this very straight and direct line, and Kelly Kulick is playing the deep inside line. Both players playing to their strengths. This is each player's A game.
Both have opened with a strike. Men's finale coming up after this match. Westmont, Jason Belmonte.
Liz, big pocket. She's got a little roll-up spot down to the outside part there. And I mean, when I say a little, she's got a board right of target where the ball, if she throws it properly, will actually start to read the oil pattern a bit.
Kelly loves a challenge. Liz Johnson always brings that challenge. The fans very appreciative of both the men and women all week long on these very difficult conditions. 3 bowling centers used. The players were jumping around between lanes and centers all week long, and now here we are at 4 TV lanes.
No.
Oh, boy.
Boy, we saw that in the first match when Danielle and Deandra Asbady both left pocket 7-10s on this pair of 9 and 10. This is the last thing you want to see if you're Kelly Kulick. Open frames, hard to come back from except if you're Wes Malott. Remember, he opened the last match and then struck out.
All right, so Kelly will be satisfied, or at least will have to settle for taking down the 7-pin.
Not used to seeing Kelly in a dress. You could tell just the kind of shape she's in. Both her and Liz, workout junkies. They take very good care of themselves. These are 2 of the heavy hitters on the women's side. You ask both players, hey, what did you think of this tournament? They said, we loved it. We loved the grind, all of the games. It's what we do. We bowl.
This format works well for both. It does separate them usually from the rest of the field, and a nice answer for Kelly Kulick after the open. Liz Johnson now likes the situations, as you mentioned, Randy, likes the low-scoring situations, because that means it's tough, and she rises to the top when it's tough. She rarely is home more than a week at a time during the year. She's always finding some place to bowl. She has a passion for this game that just exudes every time you talk to her.
But you know, you saying that Liz Johnson loves a grind and she loves the tough stuff is kind of like saying I like pizza. I mean, anytime you see a player that throws it straight, they're going to want the grind out. They're not going to want the shootout. Put her on something that's really ugly and really tough, and that's Liz Johnson's wheelhouse. Just so happens to be Kelly's as well, because Kelly, even though she likes to hook it, she prides herself on being a shot maker, which she is.
Johnson with a front 3 to open up this championship match, the 2013 women's final, presented by Ebonite. 4 in a row for Liz Johnson as she is running through the door that the opening was created by Kelly Kulick with the open frame. So Kulick trying to defend her title. Liz Johnson trying to win her 3rd. On our lanes right now, Kelly Kulick down by 42 early to Liz Johnson, who was opened with the front 4. Kulick opened up in frame 2.
Yeah, and it was an ugly open because of a pocket 7-10.
Afford to fall back any further. That was beautiful the whole way. We talked to Kelly Kulick with so many factors involved this week. What was her key to victory this week?
Repeat shots. The condition was so demanding all week long in all 3 of the centers. It's just finding the right ball in my bag that's going to allow me to get from point A to point B, repeat shots, and hit the pocket. If you can get 9 on this and spare, chances are you're going to come out on top and catch a double and triple every now and then.
And right now, she would have loved to have had 9 spare in the 2nd frame. Both players living in the pocket through 4 frames. The big difference, the pocket 7-10 for Kulick in the 2nd. What a great shot.
Has found her way. She recovered for that open very well.
And like I said earlier, I mean, this is 2 of the best women players on the planet going at it. And right now, it looks like Liz Johnson has created a little shim and a little roll-up spot in the area or the part of the lane that she's playing. She looks like she has a little bit of left and right, something that she created with all of the practice shots in the last game that she bowled.
Very good match play record. 30-pin bonus for each victory in match play, because she came in feeling very sharp this week, and she goes Brooklyn, and yeah, she'll look down but take it.
Well, you notice how she didn't slap that one off or try to rub it in Kelly's face. Nobody likes to do this against their opponent, but this is part of the U.S. Open. And She does get the nice break, a trip in the 6th there, pulled it just far enough left to get the crossover.
Front 5. Liz Johnson perfect so far. At the most critical moment. Championship match of the Women's U.S. Open presented by Ebonite. Oh, and she got that kick again on the 10.
Great shot there. Comes back after the Brooklyn and kicks the 10 out for a 6-bagger. Right now, everything going right for Liz Johnson. Kelly Kulick just needs to keep striking to keep the pressure on and keep Liz Johnson honest.
It's been over 30 years since a woman repeated as U.S. Open champion. Kelly said that was her goal this week. She too came in with a great match play record.
Push.
Back half of qualifying.
I mean, that was in just a pinch, and no trip 4 break for Kelly. Right now, all the mo in the Liz Johnson camp.
And there's really not much that Kelly can do at this point. The way Johnson has opened up. One ball at a time, down by 43 right now. Top seed Kelly Kulick.
You look at the two styles of these players. One of the common denominators is both players have great balance at the foul line. They get their legs underneath them, and that's part of the strengths of their games.
Kelly Kulick said that she just has to trust in her arm swing.
There you go. Just to reiterate what I was saying, watch the great balance at the foul line. Liz Johnson, great knee bend. Okay, maybe not as balanced on that one because that was the Brooklyn shot, but there's the great balance we're talking about. Look at that. Kelly posts that shot.
Kulick with a strike, open, a triple, and then a spare. And now with another strike.
Not giving up.
To pump herself up and remain consistent the rest of the way. She knows the odds Johnson throws perfect from this point out are very long. So Kelly has to put as much heat on as possible. But who knows?
Liz Johnson's in the 240s right now. Kelly Kulick can strike out for 247. Both players making a extremely difficult oil pattern look easy from 2 completely different angles.
Not a good throw.
36-10.
So after such a great start, the front 6, Johnson now with her first opportunity to convert the spare.
And think about the averages of these two players. Overall, Liz Johnson averaged only 208 for the 54 games. Kelly Kulick averaged 212. That includes match play and qualifying.
And you take a look through the years, and Kelly Kulick is looking for her 4th. Liz Johnson, her 3rd. A long way to go to reach that top spot.
Yeah, Marion Ladowig kind of has a stranglehold on the most U.S. Open / BPA All-Stars with 8.
Of course, these two had a few years where the Women's U.S. Open not held, so they have some ground to make up. One of them will up their total here as Liz Johnson gets back into the strike zone.
Well, she's kind of been iffy on the right lane. The good news is she gets the finish on the left lane in the 10th frame. But right now, if Liz Johnson goes spare, strike, spare, she shoots 247. Kulick needs to strike out to shoot 247.
Kulick held the lead for most of the week. When she gave it up to Liz Johnson. And now she needs to work her best game to keep Liz Johnson from taking this title.
3-6.
Cut around it. Damn it.
So the first bad shot she's thrown, the ball was left out of her hand. No chance of it pushing right and holding pocket. Her chances now running out as she's running out of frames. Inside a target, and there's no buildup of oil to hold that ball on line.
She said when she gets desperate or tired, or she starts getting a little too handsy, trying to work the ball a little too much, instead of letting the characteristics of the ball do its thing. Another open frame, and Kelly Kulick does not appear to be a repeat champion.
And that's just a concentration lapse. I mean, Kelly Kulick doesn't miss spares, neither does Liz Johnson, and that's just 5 days of brutal pressure and competition, all kind of boiling over for Kelly Kulick as she feels her chances and sees her chances of repeating slipping away.
9th frame for Kulick.
Liz Johnson is going to win the United States Open for the 2nd time. Excuse me, for the 3rd time.
And Liz Johnson knows that fact. She has to keep her composure right now, finish off strong. But Johnson has gone through the best. Kelly Kulick maybe didn't bring her best game to this finale. But that's what happens under championship conditions. And Johnson has prevailed. She has handled the pressure, handled the lanes, handled the conditions all week, right up to the end, better than Kelly Kulick. And Kelly Kulick will hand over the U.S. Open title to Liz Johnson. It's been 6 years since Liz won her last U.S. Open.
And a tough day for Kelly. She led this tournament by over 200 pins. But Liz Johnson, that 6-bagger to start this game, just won her 3rd U.S. Open title.
And the fans have been alerted to that fact, and Liz Johnson fighting back the emotion of this moment, knowing she has to finish like the brand new champion that she is. And she does indeed reward them and reward herself.
She's going to go back to Western New York and have a big party. So well deserved. She's such a classy person and just a great player.
A tremendous ambassador for the sport, both of these women. But when you sit down and talk to Liz Johnson, she just is the sport of bowling. She brings her best. She brings the best to every interview. And maybe that's a nod to her sportsmanship here. And her ambassadorship. Yeah, we'll give you that strike. Let the 8-pin fall. And of course, she will meet the men's winner in the upcoming Battle of the Sexes, which comes after the men's title. And another fortunate strike for Liz Johnson, the winner of the 2013 Women's U.S. Open. Too little, too late.
Baby.
For Kulick.
Number 1. Mom, Dad, I love you.
What a great moment for Liz Johnson.
Thank you, guys. I love you. Everyone back home, I love you guys. Storm, Vice Grips, thank you so much for everything.
She had just won $50,000 as the champion, and perhaps $10,000 more if she beats the men's champion later today.
Well, and she's got experience bowling against the men. Remember some years ago when she took down Wes Malott.
Pick it up. Yeah, baby.
Beautiful trophy.
Johnson was the best all week long. Defeats defending champion Kelly Kulick.
Here, baby.
What a performance. 257, 195. The men's championship match when we come back. ESPN. Kelly Kulick is the Women's U.S. Open champion. Open with the front 6 and the back 3. pardon me, Liz Johnson is the 2013 U.S. Open champion. And right now, she is showing us her form that brought her her third title.
Thank you.
A very well-deserved champion. And right now, Randy Peterson is with Liz.
Thanks, Lon. Liz Johnson, now a three-time United States Open champ. Liz, you're getting a chance to see some of the action there in the video. Another $50,000. Can you describe what this feels like?
This is just an amazing feeling. It just feels awesome to be back in the winners block again, to win another U.S. Open. It's my body's just numb right now.
Describe just how tough this event is. You know, we've talked about it throughout the telecast. But why don't you try to sum up for the viewers just how brutal and how tough it is to win a United States Open?
It's unbelievable to win the U.S. Open, but this week was just unbelievable. Tough, very tough conditions. As low, tough of conditions I've ever seen at an Open or any event, and it was just making shots and really filling frames because you're winning matches with 170s, 180s, and really picking up ground with 200 plus. So I'm just super happy to be on top this week.
Yeah, but in the title match, you shot over 240. Now, do you have one more game left in you?
I can throw another game.
All right, which one of the guys do you want?
I'm not picking either or. I'm on top for the Women's Open, so just to be a part of that, it's a historical event as it is. So.
All right, Liz, congratulations. We'll see you in a game or so.
Thanks a lot, Randy.
Liz Johnson, our champion, will stick around because she does have one more game to bowl in the Battle of the Sexes. She will take on either Wes Malott or Jason Belmonte. Right now, they're warming up for the men's title match presented by Storm. Belmo looking for his second, Malott his first major.